Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined here by my nudist revealing iguana man himself. It's Mikey G. Wolfie 3. Hello, Mikey.
I have seen things today, Andy.
Are you prepared for iguana wizard showing off their stuff?
I don't think anyone's prepared for a iguana lizard thing. No one's prepared.
Ooh, the wizard lizard.
Yeah, the lizard's wizard.
If you wonder what that is, it will be in the image for the podcast. I saw it, and specifically when I sent it to you, Mikey, I thought, okay, I need to at least use the image of this lizard because it's great. How are you doing this week, though, Mr. Mikey?
I'm alright, I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm not the one who had to delay the podcast by a day.
Oh my god, is that the sun falling from yon sky?
Yes.
No. No, it's not.
Okay. It's too warm, though. I'll give you that.
It is for you. It's pissing down here.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it if it was. As long as it's not muggy. Mugginess can go and die in a fire, but I like that dry heat when it's not too... If it's got to be a heat, it's got to be dry. Otherwise, bring me those northern winters. Ooh, they're lovely. We're not here to talk about the weather, though. Shockingly. We're here to talk about Transformers, Mr. Mikey, and we're going to kick off with some crappy news, which I don't think is that crappy, but goes into this category, as that's just how it works, you know. We don't break format here. We keep to a standard, and I think our standard's passable. Low? I think passable.
Low.
Yeah. Shameful.
Low.
Transformers Casual Crew socks 5-pack found at Walmart. So... yes, these are glorious socks found at your local Walmart if it's close by you. These sock packs contain such feet-comforting things such as a G1 Optimus Prime footwear, a Megatron 1, a Decepticon Insignia 1, a Grimacing Bumblebee, and an Autobot Insignia 1. I think these look quite fun for silly socks. They actually have not been terribly rendered in sock form.
They haven't been brilliantly rendered in sock form either.
No, it does. In fairness, it looks a bit like paint.
Probably pushing. I think it's pushing what you can do with socks in your local Walmart. Yeah,
it does very much look like someone drew the G1 characters fairly well, but in Windows Paint.
Yeah, and then put them on socks.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm looking at my socks now, which are just black, and I wouldn't be against these socks. They're quite fine.
I think the Venom ones look better. I'm just gonna say.
Oh, the Venom ones are there? Oh yeah. They're all right. I mean, they just have Venom's face on them, though. To be fair. Mikey, the Street Fighter ones.
Oh Jesus.
Do you see the ones on the far left with Sagat?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Kyle's teams go with everything as you're walking down.
Yeah. You got Commander Guile, or Guile. You got Michael Bibson, Bison, and Rue.
Rue. You don't have Crazy Rue, though. I like Crazy Rue.
No. How did you, when you were a kid, how did you used to say Ryu? Did you say Ryu or did you say Ryu? Because I remember in the movies they always called him Ryu.
Yeah, I said Ryu.
Yeah, I think most people did, because what was it, the live action movie that did that, or was it the anime movie that did that?
It was the anime one for me.
Was it? Okay.
Which introduced us to the idea that cartoons could have boobs.
Depending on the version that you got, because there's
I think the Sci-Fi Channel version.
Okay, because I think over the years there's been 3 or 4 different edits of that movie. Sometimes with boobs, sometimes without boobs, sometimes with nip, sometimes without nip. Sometimes the entire scene's vanished. It's bizarre.
Distinctly remember it because it was Sci-Fi Channel did the late night anime airings on Saturday.
Yeah,
I think it was Saturday. And then they do they showed Evangelion at midday.
Really?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Nadeshiko would be on first, which I love. And then following Nadeshiko, you'd have Evangelion. Little bit of mood whiplash.
I mean, that's something that would.
I wouldn't show either of those at midday, to be honest.
Imagine one was Elfen Lied, though.
Oh God, you know what? I think if it had been a couple of years beforehand, someone would have done it.
Oh, yeah, they just wouldn't care. They'd be like, whatever.
But I remember Street Fighter was on there, and I wasn't that familiar with Street Fighter, and I was, like, turned on, and because with Sci-Fi Channel, they got the most, like, unedited versions of these animes that you could get in the West.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, I'm sorry, what?
Surprise!
Why is Chun-Li in the shower? What just happened? And it was quick as well. It was just a couple of scenes, and I remember stopping and like, which what? Because Vega came in and started stabbing her. I'm just like,
that's right.
And then a few weeks later, they showed a Rotsuka Doji, and I was not old enough for that.
No. What you saw there, Mikey? That was your I found a porn mag in the woods. The thing that like young lad kids don't get this day and age, which was you'd find a porn mag in the middle of the woods. That just doesn't happen anymore because it's all
around,
digital.
Who owns this? What?
Yeah, no, you didn't take it home. You left it there for someone else to find.
Yeah,
that was the deal.
What woods are anymore anyway. They're probably still there. There's probably woods full, like stacks of porn magazines all piling up next to 1990s anime DVDs.
You know the character design from Pan's Labyrinth, that weird woodland creature thing.
Oh yeah.
That was the porn wood fairy. You know, he danced along and he'd drop off just like little bits of porn mags here and there for the lads to find. It was the deal you made with the forest spirits.
Old ages, like all spirits. If no one believes in him, he begins to.
That's true. He started to rot. The rot set in on him, poor lad. But no, I actually like that Street Fighter 2 animated movie.
Oh, it's a very good movie.
Really good.
In all honesty,
it's flawed.
Yes.
Of course, but it's a
short
damn
well.
It's a good representation of Street Fighter. For the most
and it
part.
was so much better than Alpha.
Oh, Christ. That was the one I got on DVD, believe it or not, because I was like, this is the one everybody likes. And
I think I got Street Fighter 2 on a game, like a game pack-in.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's neat.
And I had that for years and years, and I watched a lot. But and the one in the pack-in was the censored version.
Well, that makes sense.
But the Alpha, God, the animation on it was atrocious.
It was better though than the third one that they did, which was all about Akuma.
I didn't even know they did the third one.
Yeah, there was another one after that, and it was really... I can't remember what it was called, but it was really bad. It was like
all I know is that
a really boring telling of Goki, which is like, ugh. It's like, Goki or Akuma should not be a boring story. It's about a guy seeking power and getting a little bit crazy, and then a little bit killy, and yet it was dull as dishwater.
Thinking back on it, that's how I got introduced to Shin Megami Tensei as well.
Oh, really? Through Street Fighter?
No, the OVA.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That was on, because I remember the bad guy was a crow.
Yeah. Anyway, socks. Transformers.
Socks, yes.
You can get them. We don't have a price for these socks, but you know, if you go to Walmart, they'll probably not be too much. They're socks. They're not Masterpiece toys. Mikey, I want you to tell us about our first piece of third-party news for this week.
Yeah, this is a quick enough one. Unique Toys, who did a last night Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, have revealed that they are doing a Nemesis Prime redeco, R-02B Dark Challenger. So this is a classically, not movie accurate, it has to be said. Because it's not basically slightly grayer with purple eyes. It's the usual black, red, and teal done up in the Optimus Prime colors. I like accessory-wise, it's everything else. I'm just gonna say this now. I think this looks tacky. Is that the word I'm looking for? Because what they've done, everything's black except for a bit of red on the shins, a little bit of gold, and then every flame is done up in teal. Which, when it's on in that kind of pattern and not as highlights, does not look good to mine eye.
See, I don't actually mind it. I can see why you would think, you might see it as being tacky. I get that, but for me, it breaks up the usual, he's just black, or in the movie Optimus Primes, you know, he's just whatever one color and then a load of silver. This at least gives him a bit more, I don't know, interesting color scheme to that, at least for me.
Yeah. Also, there's a weird picture where I think he's supposed to be sitting.
Oh, yeah, he's doing like a squat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Don't know.
No.
don't know. Also, I think there's a new piece to his shield to make it like a shank. Or is that for his wrist?
I think that's for the shield.
Let's zoom in, zoom in.
Because I can't see where. Oh no, no! It has to be for the shield.
There's a multi-picture one that has it on it.
Is there?
Let's see.
Oh,
I think it's I think it's a wristing because I think it's from when he
is.
tried to stab Cade in the face.
Fun times.
Somehow, did Cade block with a sword?
Probably.
Does that make sense?
No, because if he did, his arms would be all broken.
My arms are Jello Prime.
Yeah.
How can I advertise beer now?
Because I don't know what kind of concussive force Prime would be hitting with, but he's large metal.
Yeah.
And moving pretty fast, and that's probably like a pretty big like vehicle moving at you, I would guess.
But I'm just saying it would have been in line with the character if like the scene pulled away and it was just like Cade impaled on the sword, still alive, and Prime just sort of brings him up to his mouth and starts chewing.
Yeah. Oh yes.
That would have been in character.
Like corn on the cob.
Mm.
Yeah, a little more like Cade on the cob.
Oh God,
You laughed though. You laughed though.
That is the laugh of shame.
That's good. That's what we need.
Shame laugh.
The shame laughs let you know that you're still alive, but still dying. Quickly dying.
Last thing you hear in the world. The shame laugh.
The shame laugh. Shall I move us on? Oh, do we have a price for that actually? Before is there any price on it?
No.
Okay, well, if you are interested in this, I suppose, look at the price of what the other one was, and it'll probably be similar, I would guess. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Shall I take us on to Shockwave Labs, Mikey?
Shockwave.
Because they've actually been popping up fairly consistently, I think, over the past few weeks, and they've got another little upgrade kit. Not lights, which is good. It is a weapon. It is the SL-53 Z Sword, or Z Sword.
I don't know what it would be. It would be Z in Japan, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because they have Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and it'd be Z here as well. But I don't think Z Sword sounds as good as Z Sword. Would you agree?
Don't know. Z Sword's copyrighted.
Is it? Is that a Power Rangers thing?
No, that's the sword from the Boo arc that Gohan shanks. He was trying to pull it out and it had old Kai.
Oh God, yeah, of course, yeah. Oh God, I forgot about that. That can't be licensed. That can't be it could be actually thinking about it. Anyway,
showing up in games.
This is the giant sword boomerang thing in the shape of the Z or Z if you're American, I suppose.
Or a biplane. Or a stealth plane or a plane.
It's classed as his signature weapon, which was missing in quotations on release. Dr. Wu brings us. Why is his name Dr. Wu? Dr. Wu brings us this impressive sword.
Literally just either Dr. Wu's new self, or are they a subunit?
They have to be a subunit because we talked about a Dr. Wu release either a week ago or a few weeks back.
Yeah, but the Insecticons?
Yeah, the Insecticon weapons. So they must be a side one, but unless the article here was written incorrectly and it was a mistake, and it was meant to be Shockwave Labs. I don't know. The sword does break up into two forms, and to two smaller swords, and then you kind of bring them together to make the Z/Z. In the same vein as a Silver Moon and the Silver Cross from Gao Gai Ga, except that worked better because it was a shuriken instead of a letter.
I'm just letting you have this.
I'm just saying that Volfog's cooler than Diatlas.
Well, yeah, that's not even up for debate.
There we go.
Volfog as a character.
That's right. What do you mean? Diatlas is that guy who became the leader of the Autobots after he murdered a load of Decepticons in the first episode and only episode.
Remember that time he came back and is dead now?
Did he come back?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
In IDW.
Oh, in IDW. Okay, yeah.
Dead
yeah. I thought you meant in G1, and I was like, hang on, there was only one episode.
He's probably somewhere in like Battlestar's pictures or magazine pulls or something.
But more importantly, he's in the Legends comics.
Yes, he is. He's a good man. Well, no, he killed Megatron, and I'm still not over that.
And you shouldn't be. So we do have a few images. As I said, the Z can split into two halves, and when you split them into two halves, you can also plug them onto his backpack, which is quite nice. So that they're in stored mode. Doesn't show them being stored in his vehicle mode, but you know what you're gonna do. Mikey, do you feel the need, if you owned a Die Atlas, to give him the power of Z? Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, it's definitely something I can see people saying it's missing from the character. But since I don't have the toy, I don't really have any real pull.
Did he come with a weapon to hold at all? I don't think he did.
No, he came with a gun, I think.
Oh, he came with a gun. Okay, I was gonna say, like, if he didn't have anything to hold, it would have a bit more weight behind it, because I always think a transforming toy should have a gun or should have some kind of weapon. That's just how my mind's always kind of worked. I like to have them with something in hand, since they have pegs and holes. You should fill them. But if that's the case and it's just, oh, he's got a gun, it's fine. I'm not that attached to his giant Z weapon that I would care too much. Personally, it's good though. If you're interested, it's there and you can buy it or don't. Yeah. I have given you permission to have those options. I say jokingly, of course. Mikey. Kidding. I'm not. I'm really not. Do you want to take us on? Because I don't think we can say much more about Giant Z.
I will take us on, but I'll take us on something that's not honestly on the list, because I just want to put it in. So I saw this on Twitter. I shared it on the Twitter we have, obviously, and I'm still really annoyed about this in a good way. But I'm mostly annoyed about this. So a fella called... He's from Poland, so I'm going to apologize deeply for murdering this. Klejpull.
Okay.
Klejpull Custom, so Klejpull Custom. They've been doing custom figures, looks like custom garage kits for Transformers, and they do some pretty decent stuff, to be honest. There's the Megatron, there's the Prime Soundwave, and they do commissions. What they shared this, and I'm so annoyed this isn't something I can go out and put a pre-order in on. I had to do this. They've got a non-transforming Prime Knockout that looks really freaking good.
How good?
It looks like all you need to do is put it in production plastic and it will be bought. Good. I'm really freaking annoyed about this. But yeah, just check out the guy's custom page. It's really good, and it's genuinely pissing me off. But yeah, that's that. But main news. We have from Blue Lobster, who are a new third-party company. Not to be confused with the Blue Oyster Club, which is a different thing altogether. So they have revealed an image of the BL01, that's Boys Love 01. Read your manga, you'll get it. X Frank are Autobot X. So these are renders of what appears to be a limited posable vinyl in the form of Autobot X from that classic episode where Spike went nuts.
Woo!
Which people seem really annoyed about that it's a vinyl.
Why?
Because no one's ever happy. I saw one person complain it doesn't transform, and I have to admit I'm just like,
whoa, what?
What?
I wonder if that's a genuine comment or if it's like a trolly comment, because anyone that is interested in this character knows that this thing doesn't transform, right? I don't remember him transforming in the episode.
No. Do you know why he doesn't transform?
Because he's a mess of parts.
Yeah, he's a zombie.
Yeah. He's Frankenstein.
He's a zombie.
The monster.
He's a dead child brought back from the life dead. So yeah, I think as a vinyl, this thing looks pretty solid. Good sculpting. The pose is there, and I think the pose is actually pretty neat, key to the character.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it's pretty neat, but I've got very limited to add. So don't know.
Okay.
But Andy, what do you think about it?
I think maybe it would have been nice, being devil's advocate, if it had been plastic, so it could have had a bit more articulation given to it, so it was a bit more playable, rather than effectively a big vinyl statue thing. I don't think it's a massive deal. Mainly that's just on my base that I don't care that much about him because I've never thought it's that cool of a design. Like I get what they're going for, but I look at it and I'm like, it's not cool though, is it? From my own perspective. I know I found his character super annoying in the show as well. How Megatron was like, "Oh, they want to hurt you," and Sprite's like, "Oh, I'm a monster." He had some really terrible dialogue.
It was a really bad take on all of it, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It didn't really work for me.
Again, any idea on price, release day, or anything like that?
None yet.
These were just CG renders, weren't they? We haven't had a physical prototype yet.
Yeah. So just...
Okay. So he'll appear at some point in the future, and we can gawk at him in the future and laugh at him for him being a monster and doesn't transform.
Yep.
Never forget. He actually reminds me of the Crash Test Dummies, like that design.
Yeah,
do you remember those?
Yeah, I remember those. Those were awesome.
They were fun toys. Quite gruesome if you think about it, I suppose. Press a button and they explode into pieces.
Yes, but that's kind of the fun.
Oh, no, yeah. No, I enjoyed them. The cars were really cool as well. They were like, oh, hey, crash these cars and the cars explode. And the human bodies inside them explode as well. Oh, boy. I like that toy line. It was fun. Shall I move on, Mikey?
Yes, please do.
Righto, we have... I'll do these two bits because they kind of joined together. Masterpiece Takara informs us that MP13, all the way back then, Jesus, which is Soundwave, is going to get a reissue sometime this year. Around November, it's listed, of this year, and will be going for $109.90. But it doesn't say... Well, I don't know. Is that the amount he was when he first came out? Or?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
No, I'm not sure either. It also says collectors must remember that this is a reissue of the Takara Tomy release, which means the toy will come with only one cassette, which is Laserbeak, and have a red visor, i.e. the correct way Soundwave should look, in my opinion.
Yes, the yellow visor is weird.
It is. It's based off the toy, but I've never thought that really worked. It didn't look very good. Didn't work with the keeping of most... Did all Decepticons have red eyes? I think they did, right?
No, well, Swindle.
Oh yeah, he had purple eyes. Maybe some Stunticons, but primarily they all had red eyes. Primarily. We also have information, finally, on MP47. That gives you an idea of how old Soundwave is, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
MP47 Hound, possible content and accessories. Note, before I mention it, there is no rock where you can have Spike over and have Hound rub him.
Oh, God, why, Andy? I just pictured that.
I said there isn't. There isn't a rock for Hound to rub him. It could have been there, but there's not. So these are the bits of information we have. We have pre-orders are for the 7th of June, so within the next few days, basically. Scheduled release will be in December, so it'll be a while away from now. He's going to be 18,000 yen, which is 164.98. So I guess Soundwave will be released for his regular price then. Possible contents: 1 Hound, 1 Laser Scope, 1 Jerry cans. Oh, that's okay. That's the thing for his vehicle mode. That confused me for a bit. A spare tire set. He does come with a spike figure. Oh boy, lucky guy. Hologram figure. Hologram effect. Hologram gun. Hood parts. I wonder what the hologram figure would be. Yeah, we'll get to that. Hood parts. Key for the cage. From that one episode where he did stuff. Replacement face, smile! Replacement face, scream! And side mirrors, spare runner 1 set, in case you snap off. And 1 character card and 1 user manual. So, Mikey, hologram figure.
Yes.
Who dat?
Presumably that would be a cutout of Big Giant Man Thing. From,
Heavy Metal Wars.
Heavy Metal Wars, thank you. I knew War was in it.
We talked about him either last week or the week before.
Yeah.
We found out he's named for some reason.
Yeah. Key of Cage. Do you get the Cage?
No,
Did I say
it says key of Cage. So
Why-
you can probably have him twirl it around his finger. That's it.
So, what, he's just going to taunt a completely free Ravage? That doesn't
Yes.
seem smart.
What if he convinces Ravage that he's in an invisible cage?
He comes with jerry cans, spare tires, Andy.
Yeah, well, no, a spare tire set, Mikey. Oh, I know. Whatever
Have I
that
pointed
means.
out how uninterested I am in an... I know it's not his fault, but if there's one character, genuinely, who has so little interesting to have ever happened to him, that getting a figure of him is just consistently blah, it's Hound. I'm sorry if you love Hound, I'm not having a go at you because of that, but I'm just saying he's incredibly boring.
It's because he didn't do anything in the show, which didn't help, and I don't think he's really done anything
Ever,
really. No.
The show started off going like, oh, that's Hound. Hound will be your main human perspective guy, and then someone said, let's get the small yellow guy.
Yeah, I can't remember offhand. Was there a reason ever given for why Bumblebee was chosen?
Not that I know, but between the pilot and the main show when it went into production, someone made a decision.
Yeah, maybe they just found Bumblebee cuter. Because he was small, he was more relatable.
Maybe
I don't know.
he was one of the first guys you see.
Oh, there's something. I mean, it's a stupid gimmick, a stupid thing that they could have given him, but they didn't. Do you remember when he went underwater to fight Rumble, and he got the mask over his face?
Yeah.
For some reason, because he needed to breathe. I guess that was something they could have given him. It would have been dumb, but I guess it's something. It's only a bit of clear plastic, or technically maybe it would have been a new face part, but that was something. There's not a huge amount of, I don't know, like you say, interesting parts, like hood parts. That's for the vehicle mode. The spare tires are again for the vehicle mode. Jerry cans for the vehicle mode. The hologram effect might be interesting, and the hologram figure might be interesting. I'm wondering how this spike will be different from the previous spike that we've had released.
He'll come with a rock and an awkward face.
It could happen. There's also something about the way that this is posed. Like, it almost seems like he's not transformed right because his shoulders look too low, and I don't know whether that's just the angle of the photo or what.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. I don't know what's going on, to be honest.
No, maybe it's not done right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, it would be nice if we had some more interesting Masterpiece toys, but they are laser point focus on what they want to do for the Masterpiece line for G1, and it looks like they're gonna hit that target.
And fair play to them if they do.
Yeah. Do we know how many more season 1 dudes there are left to do? Because we're running out of the main cars.
There's got to be more Autobots. Plenty of Decepticons.
Well,
at least even
not really.
We need a new Seeker mold.
Yes.
And with that comes at least 3 figures. 6 if you're going full hog. 7 or 8 if you're including Acid Storm and Sunstorm.
Which ones are you including? Obviously, Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp, Clone Jet.
Well, yeah, but like you expand, you also got the Coneheads.
See, I wouldn't include them because technically they're season 2. That would be something I'd see them do later.
Once the mold is done. And now we saw him this week. Redwing is now a thing.
Yeah, we were going to mention that later.
Yeah. Which is just weird.
That's a thing. Yeah.
There's also like you could do G2 Thundercracker, which please, or Action Master Thundercracker.
I see any kind of divergent Transformers like that. Be more exclusives, like Shadow Panther kind of deal.
Reflector.
Yeah, for Reflector would definitely be nice to do.
They've done Shockwave, they've done Megatron.
Yeah. Season 1 did not have many Decepticons.
You're looking into the Insecticons and the Constructicons then.
Were they Season 1? The Insecticons, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be interested to see them do Insecticons.
Constructicons would be awesome, but I suspect Masterpiece Combiner is basically impossible.
Yeah, Jesus, I can't imagine how much... Like, can you imagine trying to get all 6 Constructicons? Whew, boy!
And then, because of the move into cartoon aesthetic, you got, on the other side, you still got Trailbreaker. I think Gears was around early on, I'm not sure. Brawn.
Yeah,
the Dinobots.
They've still got the mini ones. Oh, the Dinobots would be neat to do.
Rumble and Friendly could probably do with a redo. Probably Soundwave could do with a redo if you're going with this show accuracy thing.
I don't know. I think Soundwave works well enough as he is. I mean, I'm sure people would not be averse to
Cliff
buying
jumper.
a new Soundwave. Yeah,
A proper cliff jumper.
Yeah, there are lots of like. I think we're running out of the normal standard size Autobot cars, and then we've just got the smaller ones, like you say, cliff jumper and stuff like that. So it looks like we'll still be stuck with season 1 for a while more, and then they'll move on to more interesting ones with the triple changes and whatnot in season 2, maybe one day. I don't know. Any other thoughts then, Mikey, on these masterpiece figures?
I'm interested to see what comes out. It's Hound, and nothing about Hound grabs me on any level. Visually, character, gimmicks, none of it.
No, yeah, that's fair.
It's just Hound.
It is. It's 100% just Hound.
It's just like, oh look, a rice cake. Can I have something on top of that? No, you may have a rice cake.
No, you're on a diet. This is all you're getting. Oh, I don't like this diet. Do you want to move on then, Mr. Mikey, to the next few bits of news, since they're probably quite quick to bash through?
Yeah, we've got some Siege news via Amazon. So there's a pre-order up for the Transformers Siege of Cybertron Firestormer pack, which is a 2-pack of Sideswipe, G2 Sideswipe, Slamdance, or Slamdancer, I don't remember which it is, and their relevant Battlemaster friends. And we've also got images of the next Hasbro Hasbro website exclusive, I can't remember the name for the life of me, which is Redwing, who is a repaint of Voyager Starscream into the long-loved, long-reigned, classic Transformer Seeker Redwing. Andy.
What color is he?
He's red.
What?
He has wings.
What?
He's not a bird. Does not. At no point does he fly around with a guy in a Falcon suit.
What face does he have? Does he have the Starscream face or the Skywarp or Thundercracker face?
He has the Skywarp Thundercracker smirky face.
Okay, the super smirk, which is almost like his mouth has been moved too far to the wrong side of his face.
The one that feels like it's on the wrong toy.
Yeah.
So does it? For anyone who wants to know, there's a little thing here, because Redwing came out of nowhere in the Wings universe, and everyone kind of assumed he was just a guy. And he showed up in Creo. He showed up in IDW once.
Did he?
And he was when Galvatron attacked Shanghai.
Oh, that was a while ago.
And he's getting this toy, which looks okay, to be honest. It's like, because of the darker, it's still got the battle damage paint thing, but it's basically more splodges that looks more like maroon paint applications.
Yeah. Because
for some reason people said, hey, we're going to do this, maybe we should just do the paint damage in silver. No, we're going to do splodges. This is a bit of a verbatim from TF Wiki, so stick with me for a second. Redwing owes his entire existence to a series of miscommunications between Hasbro, Takara, eHobby, and FunPub, coupled with a slight coloring error. FunPub's original plans for BotCon 2013 exclusive toys were to have a souvenir tree pack featuring redecos of the classic Starscream with color schemes based on the Welcoming Committee from Generation 1's cartoon first episode. I believe those guys got names in the end. However, at the time, FunPub had just entered a partnership with eHobby, and since eHobby were the ones who had originally turned the generic Orange Seeker into Sunstorm, and they had plans to use their own Sunstorm redeco of the mold, FunPub decided to exclude Sunstorm from the set, and instead replace him with a new character named Hotlink. Yeah, Hotlink and Bitstream. At the time, the Purple Seeker was named Nacelle. Nacelle has now gone on to be his own thing, which also was a FunPub thing. That would have supported a more reddish-orange color. But the comic intended to feature both Sunstorm and Hotlink. However, Takara subsequently denied eHobby the permission to release their own Sunstorm, because according to their information, Hasbro themselves were planning to release a new Sunstorm. After a while, FunPub realized that Takara might have very well been referring to their own, since shelved, BotCon exclusive figure. So they eventually decided to go ahead and change the figure to be included in the set back to Sunstorm. With the name Hotlink reassigned to the Purple Seeker, the name Nacelle would go on to another Seeker. Because that change was made at the very last minute, the comic still ended up featuring a more yellowish-orange Sunstorm and a more reddish-orange Seeker. However, in the final print, the latter Seeker was turned very red and not much orange due to lighting effects and contrast in the background. Following the convention, one fan kept persistently inquiring about the identity of the mysterious Red Seeker. That person was Randy Para. both on and offline. Please don't stalk people, Randy. And thus, FunPub finally ended up naming the character Redwing to shut him up. Prior to this, Pete Sinclair wasn't even aware, or at least feigned ignorance, it was Pete Sinclair, he probably wasn't aware, of his existence in Termination due to his extremely minor role, and because Pete Sinclair was Pete Sinclair. So, yes, Randy Parra did some bios for FunPub, and then just sort of chased him around saying, who's this, 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 who's this? Andy, who's this?
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, no one cared. Why is this guy getting a toy?
I've seen a few people kind of maybe not excited for it, but maybe looking forward to it because that's the thing. I'd be surprised if people care about the character. I genuinely would, because as far as I can tell from what you've said, there isn't any, and he's just a minor thing. But I don't think, or rather, I do think the actual look of the figure is quite nice. I think it works quite well. I definitely think it should have a different head to differentiate it.
Yes.
Maybe even give him just a box, like keep the head mold, but give him a faceplate or something, just I don't know, change it up a bit would be nice. Again, it would make him a little bit more unique, which is in this day and age of Seekers would definitely be a plus. You know what you could do? You could remold the head so it looks like he's wearing the masks that they have for flying jets. That'd be quite nice. You know, the whole air breather, what's a jig for air pressure and stuff. That'd be neat. It's fine though, I guess. I guess it's probably just as well it's coming out as a web exclusive though.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine Redwing selling on store shelves. He's not distinct enough.
No,
People
and
just think
he's
a
got the
weird
name.
Starscream.
Yeah, he's not got the name to carry him either. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in the Firestormer pack?
No. I wouldn't mind. I'd say I wouldn't mind G2 Sideswipe, but then I think back and I remember going around to Dave's and playing with his Sideswipe, and I wasn't that impressed with the mold. So even then, like, I like the G2's color scheme, but I don't think I care that much about the mold to really push me into wanting it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, especially compared to the Generations one. I didn't feel that this was an improvement on that. It just felt more like maybe a step down. Like, it's simple, which is fine, but it doesn't have that good chunky feel that the Generations one did.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. It's not like a massive step down. It's not like, this is bloody trash. It just feels like a mild diagonal step downwards. But there, yeah. What about you, Mikey? Do you like the 2-pack set?
I think it's okay. I wouldn't the only one that would interest me is G2 Sideswipe, but if he's not on his own, I'm not really paying for it.
No, because I'm sorry, Slamdancer, Firestormer, as it's called here. I just don't care about you at all. Not a tiny part of my body cares about you. Shall I move us on, Mikey?
Please do.
Right, so we have an image of the Cyberverse Spark Armor Cheetah has been revealed. Spoilers, I suppose, Cheetah being in Season 2, which we talked about a while ago. To emphasize the Spark Armor gimmick and the Beast Wars Maximal, Cheetah is in his first mainstream animated appearance since Beast Wars. That's sad, but true. Actually, no, I was going to say, was he an animated? He wasn't in animated.
He had a comic. So.
He did, yeah.
Where he was a half-boiled detective.
That's right. That was weird. So we see him in his cheetah mode. We see he comes with a boat, a battleship boat. And we see him both in his robot mode and with the armor attached to him. I will say the armor on him looks awful.
Yes, it does look like a cat wearing a boat.
Yep, and not very well integrated boat. You know what looks better integrated? The anime girl people that have the boats that are boats. Whatever thing's called.
Because those boats are scaled down. This is, I suspect, a boat that's meant to be all-purpose for all people.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue here. It doesn't say what scale Cheetor is, but I imagine he's probably deluxe size or something, right?
Yeah, he's warrior class.
That's what, yeah, deluxe size.
Or at least he's somewhere around it. To me, he looks kind of legend, if I'm completely honest.
He does look very simple, and have you noticed in his cheetah mode without the boat on him, he seems to have a spring for where the cheetah head is.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
That, to me, is never a good thing.
No.
I realize it will be a gimmick where, like, he's transforming and maybe you just press a button and the cheetah head flips up. But I never like it when they put springs in these toys. Because, you know, that spring is probably going to be tensed up for long periods of time, I guess.
Yeah. I suspect that spring effect is going to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I can't even say I think the way the cheetahs turned out, at least in robot mode, is that impressive.
Not really, but I will say it's better than he would have been in the last wave.
Yeah.
Where he would have had an intrusive gimmick that would have made him completely unconsiderable for anyone. At least he's got the basic articulation here.
Yes, that's true.
And he doesn't have his gimmick is extrusive, not intrusive.
Apart from the spring, potentially,
spring,
whatever that is.
So, I mean, if the way this is going to go, especially it's like this is a beast mode on a simple level, and it's not something easy to do like a dinosaur. It's a cat to a robot, and that's hard to do. And because a dinosaur's easy because it's going to be Grimlock and they've done it 1 billion times.
Yeah.
But I think if the rest of the characters are in this kind of base articulation style, and this is the gimmick, even if they're smaller, I think they will be better figures than the last line. My concern is, how are they going to cost in comparison? Because I bet they aren't going to be cheaper.
I imagine they'll at least be the same price, if not a bit more.
Yeah, so... I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anyone in that line I'd like to buy a figure of this quality of.
We did see a few of the designs, and some of them didn't look too bad.
No,
I can't remember what they were offhand now.
Skybite and I think Prime and Megatron are in there.
And Starscream and Bumblebee.
And
the new there as well. The new Ultra Class stuff doesn't look too bad, but I need to see reviews of them first. Well, what do you think of Cheetah? Like, I will say as well that I think his Cheetah mode looks quite good. It's not really a cheetah, it's more of a thick kitty. Kind of like Galleon from Gaugaiga. Yeah,
like, this is a lion, are you sure?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a cheetah, are you sure?
Yeah. But, by the way, did you see the clip from Japanese Cyberverse during the week?
No.
This went about, and people were complaining about it, and I'm just like, this is beautiful, and I don't know why
is
you're
this
all having
the
a problem.
Shockwave thing? I didn't quite understand what people were angry about.
Because, again, this is another case of the dub upping the comedy.
Yeah.
And this became a thing in Prime, and it looks like the same voice actor as well. So where Shockwave ends all his sentences with the word shocka. But it's also like Shockwave when he's like the scene in Cyberverse is actually kind of sinister, where we see Shockwave experimenting on someone. He's fusing two seekers together.
Yeah.
And what they've done in the Japanese version is Shockwave is singing a song about how his name is Shockwave.
And people were angry about that.
Some people were angry about that, and I'm just like, I think this is kind of cool.
Are they, like, no disrespect, but are they new to the fandom? Because, like you said, they've been, like, the Japanese have been doing this with their, with the translation for Japan for a very, very long time. Very long time. Right?
Yes, they've been doing this in Beast Wars.
Yeah. So, I don't see what there's to be so angry about. I would have liked it more if you said Ojaru.
I think people are just angry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe.
I just like the idea of him singing to himself about how his name is Shockwave. Shockwave.
Shall I take the last story then, Mr. Mikey?
Please do.
Right, very quick bit of information for TFCon Toronto 2019, which is July 12th to the 14th. A new guest has been announced, and it is Aaron Archer, once again. Going back to the convention. If you don't know who he was a Hasbro designer who worked on the Transformers franchise during the Armada, Beast Wars, MP Optimus Prime, that kind of era. He's done lots of stuff. Interesting guy, lots of interesting stories, and knows a lot about the process of making Transformer toys. So, very interesting individual. If you haven't seen him before, heard from him before, very worthwhile at the very least. He's a good guest. He's a good guest.
Yeah, he seems to make a good impression at these things.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add then, Mr. Mikey, or is that as done for the news for this
Didn't
week?
realize he designed the Jurassic Park 3 toys.
Oh dear.
Those weren't good toys.
No. Well, I think there's always the distinction of the Transformers money and then the rest of Hasbro's money.
Because like, we put our money over here.
It's weird because it's felt like they care more, which is good for me because I'm a Transformers fan, that they care way more about the quality on Transformers than they do for any of their other lines. I mean, look at the Marvel figures. They're not great. In my opinion. Just the way that they feel is not great.
Yeah, the Power Ranger stuff I think is okay, but again, it's got some problems with feel.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like, there's a weird thing with Transformers, because of the very nature of it, I think
there needs to be better quality.
Yeah. And then we end up with, you get a lot of designers in, and once you have a lot of designers in, you also get like a lot more pressure to do these things at a higher level, and there's a lot more creativity, I think, because a lot of those other lines are just directly translating a design into a toy.
Yeah, and it's
whereas
not like
Transformers, you have design, and then you have to figure out how to get from A to B.
Yeah, where most of the time, like you say, you're just effectively doing a human body and just making sure it has elbows, it has knees, it has a torso, and A, B, and C. But like you say with the Transformer, you've got to do a lot more other stuff to get it from A to B, yeah. Yeah, so maybe that's why extra quality goes into Transformers over the other stuff. That's a fair point. But I think now, Mr. Mikey, how about we head over and I point at you violently and say, what you been up to this week, Mikey, huh? What you doing, huh?
Violent pointing. Not a lot, if I'm honest.
All right.
Because I've just been, but usually the weekends are my catch-up time.
Okay.
But it's been a busy weekend. So I did get a couple of my shows watched today just before we came on.
Oh,
I made
yes.
sure to get a few in. So I watched Geo, which wrapped up its Kabuto arc, which was a mixed bag.
How many episodes was it, the Kabuto arc?
2.
Okay, so
they're sticking to the 2 format.
Right.
On the one hand, the Geo stuff was stop pretending that the Time Jackers are in any way mysterious and that you're building a plot. You're not building a plot. You just have them go. You're literally having them go, what's going on? And someone one of them going like, you don't need to know, and walking off. Like, we do find out
Japanese.
a bit. Yeah, we find out a bit about Tsukiyomi in this, but it's a very small bit, and it's not a big mystery.
Right.
Like, you kind of could have guessed it 30 episodes ago.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, you could have guessed it from the intro if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Decades in it though, and he's fun. And yeah, there's a weird thing about it. They again touch on the fact that time's being rewritten in general, but they really brush over it way too quick. And it's like, oh, our timelines are merging, are getting twisted. I'm just like, that feels like it should be a bigger deal in a show about time travel.
It's fine.
Yeah. But on the other hand, Kagami's great in it. He's genuinely great. The Hopper brothers are great. I really like them. Yaguruma, especially, they got his character down. Kageyama, because of the circumstances of him being in this, it's a bit more complicated, but his suit, both their suits are looking real good as well. And then they bring in the Kabuto suit, but not Kabuto, the character. They do it in a roundabout way. I won't spoil, but that suit is aging. I'm not usually the guy who notices this, but one of the arms is basically being held on with tape and dreams.
Did you say the actual Kabuto suit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Which is slightly odd to me, because couldn't you swap the undersuit with one of the other Kabuto suits? Kabuto character suits, I mean? Aren't the undersuits all identical?
I would imagine so. I would imagine they have the undersuit and then they kind of build up around that.
That's what they do with everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good action scenes in this, although there was a very bad finisher scene where it's like they're doing the rider punch, rider kick, and what they've done, if they cut them, they're I think it's Gates, he's going backwards, and it's like rider punch, and there's just fire behind the fist, there's no contact, there's just fire blowing behind them, so it looked like there was an explosion and he'd been caught in the shockwave, not that anyone's connected and punched him, and then they did the same thing with another Kabuto and the kick.
Right.
I do like the another Kabuto suit a lot, although it does basically just function like normal. Weirdly, I feel like it should function more like Kabuto, but now it's just Kick Hopper.
Right.
And also very little reference to the actual character of Kabuto.
Oh.
Like, he does get one call out, and Woz is constantly pointing at the sky. Constantly in this. And also we get Waz's song plays, which doesn't sound too bad, but we'll see. But yeah, not one I'd really... I don't know. Deno's next. They end on the Den liner showing up, and I feel like it's a time travel show with time travel. Also, something kind of interesting, they brought back Zeronos' actor.
Oh,
right?
Oh, that's cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Who was also in the Hibiki episodes. Because the actor played the character from Hibiki back in the
He
day.
was in Hibiki as well. I didn't know that. Okay.
And people were assuming that he wouldn't be in this because of that. So, yeah.
Well, I suppose they would have, because haven't they had dude who was in Kiva?
Yeah, but he wasn't he wasn't in the Hibiki episode.
Okay.
He was just the wolf from Kiva.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
that's what I mean. Like, so I'm just like, are they going to comment on the fact this guy looks a lot like someone else that you just met like a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's also going to introduce Grangio, the final form. So we'll see about that. Which looks kind of atrocious to me, but we'll see how it plays out.
Is that the one with the gold statues on his suit?
Yeah, as I said to someone who asked me about it, I accept one golden boy, and that is an invincible young man.
Muteki.
God, that's a good... I wish I had a song of that. I wish we had a full song. I also wish Jam Project did the final fucking song for that show. Bloody Kamen Rider girls. Not their fault, but still. Yeah, I don't know. I'm behind on Rio Soldier. I need to catch up on that. Watched Rise of the Shield Chicken.
Hey, giant chicken.
Giant Chicken.
Again ended in a way where I was like, so this is the end of the series? No, there's another episode? Are you sure? Because that felt like the conclusion of a season. That felt like the conclusion of a season where you're never going to get any more seasons.
Yeah, that felt like someone was cutting it off, but I'm also like, there's some characters in the opening that haven't shown up yet, and you've got at most 4 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe this thing is going to run on. Maybe it is possible. Who knows? Maybe
it's going to be seasonal.
Maybe, but I don't know. I mean,
no,
from what I understand, the light novels at least are finished.
Yeah. Oh, so, it's done.
But I think it's big, but it's done.
I'm shocked. I definitely think because of the way anime is done now, it's still going to be seasonal.
Yeah, no, but
it's not a fucking shonen.
Maybe they'll show some common sense. I don't know what to argue with, but what did you think of it?
I liked it. You know, it's like some payoff to what's happened. I obviously we can't say too much because we don't want to spoil. Jason on it.
Yeah, it's a spoilable one. There was a couple of scenes in there where it's going like someone's very aware of their camera angles in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What you're saying. Yeah.
And it's just like I should be cringing, and I'm just kind of laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, really?
Yeah.
You're having a good time.
Yeah.
But no, I'd like a lot of plot stuff in this, but
definitely. That's why I thought it was the last one, because it wrapped up a lot. Well, not wrapped up, but
it felt like a conclusion to this is your arc for this series.
Yeah. It was the conclusion of story part 1, Narufumi.
Yeah, and now it's like, and now you can wait and see if you get part 2. But I don't know. It's I really hope they're not going to have to rush some story stuff to wrap it all up in the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Because I'd be annoyed.
I'm wondering how they will end this series.
If it's a fucking old style, and here we're going to go off looking for Naraku again, walk into the distance. Yeah, that ending has stuck with me for more years than I care to remember.
The
ending in Inuyasha, we're just like, well, we have no resolution. They literally just walk away.
It was always one of those two endings, wasn't it, where they have a no resolution ending and they just leave you and you go, eh? Like in Berserk, or the ones where they make up their own ending, and it was I found 90% of the time really disappointing, rushed ending where you go, this is bobbins. That's why I didn't like
I still like
Full Metal.
the way... No, Full Metal Alchemist has like a 20-episode arc.
And I hated it. I hated the first...
Everyone liked it until they realized Brotherhood was the thing.
No, I never liked it.
I
honestly never liked it. I never liked Full Metal until Brotherhood came out, and I watched Brotherhood and was like, oh wow, I actually like this show.
I saw Full Metal, and I remember reading about it, and people were like freaking out about how good the series was as a whole. And then Full Metal Brotherhood came out, and everyone was just like, that shit from before! I spit on it! Pit! And I was just like, I like it.
I
like
remember
what
my
they did
friend
with
showed
Lust
it.
in it. I thought Lust was way more interesting in that than she was in Brotherhood.
No, I'll give you that. Yeah, Lust had some more. There was more to her in that.
They did a lot more with the homunculi as characters.
Yes.
And they had those weird chimera people as well, who got a big thing. That was fun. And Rose, I prefer Rose to Winry. I'm just saying. But yeah. Did I watch anything else today? Oh, I started watching Parks and Rec over the weekend.
Oh, have you never seen it before?
No, never got a chance before.
Maybe it's quite fun.
Yeah, I'm in midway through season 2. Ron Swanson is a god.
Yes, yeah, I like him in it. I find the rest of it just very this is okay watching.
I like Ron, I like Leslie. Andy, Chris Pratt's character, I don't know what, because I assume he's going to be bigger because I know this is what made Chris Pratt's career. But at the moment he's just sort of shining shoes.
He never does a huge amount.
Yeah. But the rest of the cast are fun and likable, but they don't do a huge amount.
No, yeah, it's primarily about
Leslie and
Leslie.
Ron.
Yeah, and her Leslie's friend, whatever she's called.
Anne.
That's her.
Anne. And the weird thing about Anne is that it's constantly acting like she works there, but then she occasionally references the fact she's a nurse.
Yeah.
Which I find shouldn't. She spent a lot of time here.
Like a lot
Mm.
of time there. She
Also-
is maybe the worst nurse. Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah. I also watched 2 other shows at the weekend with a friend. I started watching Good Omens, the new show that's on Amazon.
I hear that's meant to be actually pretty decent.
It's an adaptation of a book which was done by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. It's the first novel Gaiman ever worked on, in fact, back in 1990.
Neat.
I've read the book. It's a lot more Pratchett than it is Gaiman.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, would you say?
For a lot of people, it's a good thing. For me, it's not so much. I am not a huge Terry Pratchett fan.
Oh, why is that, Mikey? Do you hate fun things? Do you hate
I
joy?
He was really aware of the fact he was witty,
Right.
and way too aware of the fact that he was witty.
Okay.
And he has a really bad habit of getting wrapped up in witticisms and explanations, and me falling asleep.
God damn.
I there's very few Discworld novels I've come away and gone like, yep, this is exactly what I was looking for this experience.
Right.
He like, you can clearly see the talent, and I can see why other people are like raving about him. But for me, it's always been like, yep, these are very British witticisms. This is still going. It's been 2 pages of describing something that's not actually happening in this book or relevant to anything that's going on.
Right. You felt it's almost wasting your time.
It's kind of like Hitchhikers in a way, except I think Douglas Adams was way better at that kind of stuff.
Right.
Good Omens, basic premise is 6,000 years ago, a demon king named Crawley tempted Adam and Eve because he was a snake. He ends up meeting an angel called Aziraphale. They kind of represent the 2 factions on Earth for the next 6,000 years. They basically end up as best buds. And they do each other's favors. And Crawley was kind of like, listen, I'm not evil so much as I just I'm doing my job. And he's basically, in modern times, handed a baby and said, right, this is the Antichrist, we're about to start Armageddon. He's like I kind of like people, so we need to stop the Armageddon. And it's kind of like how that plays out, what role the Antichrist plays, everything else. And it's the book plays things a lot more evenly. The TV show is kind of what's going on with Crawley and Aziraphale, and then other characters have their time to shine, but it's very much focused on the angel and the demon. They're played by not Charlie Sheen, Michael Sheen and David Tennant. David Tennant is kind of playing the David Tennant archetype.
Okay.
But it does work because Crowley is kind of just that archetype. He's always been that. Like, even in the book, he's that archetype. So yeah. I think it's good. I think it's very good casting. I think the 2 of them play off each other fairly well. I enjoy when they're on screen a lot. But then when other characters are around, it gets into that very Pratchett-y over-explaining really long scenes of things that I don't care a huge amount about. With characters who are there more for the wit than the point.
Yeah.
And it does drag a bit for me. Overall, I think it is solid. It's hitting, like I'm saying, like, if you're a Pratchett fan, I think you're going to love this. If you're a Gaiman fan, you can tell it, like, this was designed in, even though he's writing this adaptation, you can tell it was a thing more in his early days before he was confident enough to start doing his own novels.
Mm-hmm.
And his novels are usually, they can be quite witty, but they can also be like fucking tricky and dark and weird. And there's some scenes in this that are very like, these are ones you came up with. Also, there's some extra stuff added that's very much more Gaiman-y, and I like that stuff more, if I'm honest. And I also watched the first couple of episodes of Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
I've heard of that, but I don't really know anything about it.
It's a Dark Horse comic, based on the Dark Horse comic. It's kind of like What If the X-Men, but not happy. So what is it? 48 women get pregnant in the same instant and have 48 babies within a couple of hours.
Okay.
And then a guy goes around, buys 7 of the babies, and they all have special powers, so he's rearing them to be a superhero team, but he's a terrible father.
Right.
So he dies years later, and they've all spread out, and one's a drug addict, and one's on the moon, and one is an actress, and one is a piano teacher, or something like that.
It's live action, you say?
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's also a chimpanzee called Pogo, who is the butler, and is the closest thing they have to a father figure.
Okay.
He's quite, like, they put some effort into the graphics in this. There's 7 of them, and they only had numbers for names.
I hate to see this, Mikey, but it sounds like this, because it's live action, it's going to go into moody teen drama DC Comics
No. It's I'd say it's more tonally, and I'm saying this tonally, not quality-wise, okay?
Okay.
Like, these are all adults when we visit them, so they're in their
Right.
20s and 30s. Tonally, it's a lot more Watchmen than anything else.
Right.
And I emphasize tonally because that movie's kind of terrible.
Well, of course, who directed it, Mikey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The writing is pretty good. The acting's pretty good. I'm curious. I want to see more. I've only seen 2 episodes. The characters are likable, except when they're not when they're supposed to be shitty, they're shitty. Dolores is the best character, and if you've seen the show, you'll get that reference. But no, I'd say it's worth my time. I think I'm gonna check it out again. I don't know if it's gonna be a regular watch, but it's only I think it's 10 episodes, and then there is a season 2 coming up. But like, I am very curious. Like, so we got 7 people in this. What happens to the other 41 of them? Because so far, no one's even talked about the fact that we're at 41 other babies, presumably all with powers. Yeah, and apart from that, I did go to cinema.
Yay, twice.
Twice. I did go to cinema twice. Yep.
You hated it, didn't you?
Yeah. So I went to see Godzilla King of the Monsters, the movie the critics are destroying and the fans and general audiences are loving.
Is it being destroyed by the critics, or is it just being apathetically?
The critic rating is currently 39% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. Okay, that is being destroyed. Holy crap!
The audience rating is averaging between 87 and 90%. It's
okay.
To the amount of memes of themes of critics going like, I don't like this, and then like the audience rating literally like flying in and knocking their heads off or something. Or there's one from like the Sonic trailer where just like, what do you think? Critics are going like, well, the movie's lacking. Nobody cares. So yeah, like this isn't like Transformers where there was a low audience rating, an average audience rating and a low critic rating. Like this is different because I feel the critics are looking for a movie that this was never going to be, because this is at its heart and soul and core a Godzilla film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in its most base genetics, this is a Godzilla film. It was made for Godzilla fans, people who enjoy what makes Godzilla cool, people who like the kind of human stories that are in Godzilla films, people who like the kind of angles and shots and dramas that you get from a Godzilla movie. Like, very specifically, Heisei era Godzilla.
Right.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I think it's probably my favorite Godzilla movie now, at least for the moment. Maybe it'll fall back over the months, but Godzilla and the other kaiju are full characters in this.
That's good.
Especially Ghidorah. Like, they've all got character stuff. Rodan gets some, Mothra gets some, Godzilla gets loads, but Ghidorah is an utter prick.
As he should be.
Yeah, and like most of the character work is on the left and middle heads. But the right head has a few moments, but they're not really important. But the left head is just kind of a dope, and the middle head's constantly like bullying him and making him get into line.
Oh, so they are individual personalities for each head.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Like, and there's some moments in this movie that legitimately made me jump. Two in particular.
Good way? Or
No,
just
like physically go like, "Whatcha?"
Ah.
Like Godzilla should not be able to jump scare you.
Hmm.
But it did, and there's a character moment that made me go, I did not expect that happening. There's a moment with Ghidorah where I literally said out loud, what the hell is happening? Because I said, like, what? But that mean what? And then it was just like, oh, Jesus. There is a lot more action in this. I think Rodan's got probably my favorite action scene. But there's a lot more action, there's a lot more fights. They do the Pantahumans a lot, it has to be said. But they do it a lot, and I'm saying this as someone who likes the other film, they do it a lot better than 2014 did.
Okay.
It uses literal panning shots a lot. So you know how in 2014 you'd have like a 5-second clip of the monster and then suddenly they'd like crash through a building and there'd be people there and you'd just be staring at the people.
Yeah.
This is more like monsters over you, panning shot to the people going about their stuff, panning shot back to the monster. Monsters in the background, very visible, doing their stuff while the people are in the foreground doing their things.
I also remember very specifically two characters getting into the back of a truck and the truck door closes and you just see the monsters just about to start fighting and the scene ends.
Yeah, there is none of that. Like,
fuck you.
Hey, Andy, remember the airport?
No.
Godzilla shows up at the
No,
airport?
I don't.
No, because he roared and then the scene cut.
There was a foot. I remember that people saw a foot stomp.
Yeah. They have a similar, like, Godzilla's entrance is very much in the spirit of that.
Okay.
Except then the music starts playing and it turns into an ass kicking.
Okay, good.
And Ghidorah is a badass in this. Like, this is the toughest Ghidorah I think they've done. Like, this guy could, like, Kaiser Ghidorah probably wouldn't stand a chance against this guy. Like, this is full crazy, Andy. Full crazy. Like, so crazy, I would not be shocked if they did Mecha Godzilla in the next film.
Okay, that's good.
Or if they did Gigan and said, this is Gigan, he has a chainsaw and he's from space. Or even bloody Hidora, to be honest. No, and the critics are complaining about not enough human drama.
That's not what Godzilla is about.
Not what it's about.
It's one of... There are two Godzilla films. There's the... Godzilla is natural destruction and we need to preserve our planet from effectively nuclear power or whatever Godzilla's representing at that time. Or there's the Godzilla who's there to kick some fucking ass. Yeah. And that's what it's about. And sometimes there's a child Godzilla who no one likes.
Yeah. Except the critics who give it 60%, which I found out this week.
Oh, which one?
Son of Godzilla has 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Isn't that one of the worst ones?
That is one of the absolute worst Godzilla films.
Why has it got 60%?
Because people don't know what a Godzilla film is. But for me, like, the human stuff in this was better than it was in the last film. Like, the difference is that it's not tied directly into the monsters.
Right.
It is tied to the monsters, but the human, inverted commas, drama mostly is in one family unit and about that family doing stuff for the family. They're tied to the monster. They have interactions with the monsters. I think Ken Watanabe's character is way better utilized in this film.
Sorry, when you kept saying the word family there, just because I've been watching Game of Thrones again, I just kept thinking of Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, he's not in it as much as you think.
Oh, he's actually in the film, the actor.
Yeah, Charles Dance is
really?
in the film. Yeah.
I would not have pegged Charles Dance to be in a Godzilla film.
No, I suspect also he's going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, I don't know why. Charles Dance seems like a Shakespearean kind of actor, so it makes sense why he's in Game of Thrones. I would never peg him to be in a Godzilla film.
He's in this. I think all the... I saw one review that was just like, oh, this is the Fast and the Furious of monster movies. The performances go from so bad it's good to so bad it's bad. I'm just like, I don't think anyone who's given proper screen time gives a bad performance in this film.
I would go, sir, I don't think you've seen Final Wars, my friend.
I don't think you've seen Fast and the Furious.
No.
If you think this is, like, to be blunt, this is better than Fast and Furious usually aims to be, because Fast and Furious is stupid. Stupid fun, but stupid. This movie's kind of dumb. Mm-hmm. But I've said this before, there's a big difference between dumb and stupid in filmmaking.
Yeah, I mean, look, one could argue, and you may be a fan of the Transformer films, but I would say most of the Transformers films kind of drop into that.
They very much do. I would say Pacific Rim is a dumbass movie.
Oh, yeah.
But that ain't stupid. There is intelligence behind that. There is intelligence behind this. The credits are great. And there is a post-credit scene, which is not directly setting up Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay. I'll be honest,
Because-
I don't think I'd stay to the end of Godzilla to watch the after credit scene.
I did, one, because the credits also include Godzilla, Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra as themselves.
Right.
Like, they each have a credit. Godzilla as himself, Rodan as himself, Mothra as herself.
Nice.
I'm surprised it didn't, like, middle head, left head, right head as themselves. But this, I did not see this credit scene coming.
Okay.
And it has possibilities going forward for things, again, like, one of the mistakes 2014 does, and I will say this is a mistake, is that it follows the 1998 thinking of make these realistic, inverted commas, animals much as possible. Like, the Mutos aren't evil. They are reproducing. Godzilla's not good or bad. He's just an animal doing an animal thing. Now, they do it, the Godzilla side of that much, much better than 98, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
This is Japanese deifying these characters. They are characters, not animals.
That's good. That in my mind, that's how they should be.
Yeah. Ghidorah is evil. Like, he's not doing what he's doing because he is a force of nature. He's doing it because he's an asshole.
He's a dick.
Yeah. And like,
They're a
Godzilla's
dick.
Godzilla's the asshole on our side. That's the thing.
How would you describe Ghidorah? Would you describe him as a them or an it? Because they're technically three personalities.
yeah.
It's them.
Yeah, it's like, it's a them. It's a them. It really is, because they do go to a lot of effort to show, like, these are three individuals.
I think that's a weird, interesting thing. Are they a them? Are they individual? They have to be separate because, like you say, they've got three personalities. That's weird. Very weird.
Like, I think they have moments where, like, one of the heads has an oh fuck moment and the other two don't realize it. Which is just like, I love it. But there's, like, reaction shots from Godzilla in this. Or, like, they've got lots of shots of personality. Mothra's great in it. Rodan's a big surprise, because Rodan's, like, my least interesting one of these, and I think he's got loads of good scenes in this. But
do you think you're gonna get, what's his name, Jaguar Man?
Jet Jaguar?
Yeah. Do you think he's coming?
Do you know what? If you'd asked me this on Thursday, I would have said no.
See, I would say he's probably never going to get done, but I could see them, if they wanted to do something quite fun, they could maybe tie it into Ultraman and put in an Ultraman, and then people be like, what's Ultraman? And then they go, look to Japan. They've got some stuff you might like. I don't know.
Honestly, there's very little off the table right now. This movie is unashamed of where it comes from.
As it should be. You're basically saying it's a more modern comic book movie. At least the idea behind it is more comic book movie,
which is important. Which is what made Endgame work for people. It's what make modern science fiction adaptations work for people. It's what
made Bumblebee more leaning into the way it should be.
And it's what made movies in the early 2000s and the entire run of Transformers, if you ask me, fail in this regard, because they were, and the Power Rangers especially, they were ashamed of where they came from. They won. Even to a level, 2014 Godzilla is somewhat ashamed of where it's come from.
That makes sense. Yep.
But this is a movie that's like, this is the source material. This is what we're doing. This is what we can do. It works. It's not the best movie that's ever made, but it's a very enjoyable experience. The soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. I will say that if there's one thing that I will accept no one even besmirching, that soundtrack is amazing. The amount of ways they've mixed in the original Godzilla theme into stuff. There are character themes in this. Also, the original roar is back.
Oh, like the one from the original movie.
So the not quite that one. It's the Japanese Godzilla roar. Sort of the one that came in for Final Wars and kind of the style you'd have from Final Wars to back towards like Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Okay. No, not King Ghidorah. The one that came after that, Mothra.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. The one with Baby Godzilla. Whichever one that was, someone will tell me. No, it's Mechagodzilla 2. There we go. I remembered. But it's that roar. It's the roar you'll see in the ads, and you'll see ripped off. And it's mixed it there. He uses it with other vocalizations from the first film, and I think they blend very well. And I have to admit, it's the first sound you hear as the movie starting, and I did start squeeing.
Of course you did.
So, because I wasn't expecting it, and I think it's a really, because he said the director said in an interview he was mixing the new roar so it sounded a bit more classic, and what that basically meant is we've changed that a bit, but we're also just using the old roar as well. But yeah, no. In the truest sense, we have another American Godzilla film. And
That's
I think
good.
that is a
Yeah.
very good thing. It's not doing amazingly financially, but after its first weekend globally, it's got about 100 million plus.
Do you think that's because it came out around the same time as Aladdin, and Aladdin was, I think, unfortunately, always going to do well because of what it is?
That, and I think people do look to critics these days, and I
That's
think the critics are looking for, like, the critics are complaining about the stuff they complained about, the reverse of what they complained about originally.
I've seen that meme go around.
And also, like, the audience score for the original movie is much lower than, like, the critic score I think was 75%, and the audience score was 66.
Yeah, I didn't rate it that highly personally.
Like, I
know you liked it quite a bit, but I just got really irritated by the fact it was not a Godzilla.
Yeah, and there was like when you think back on Brody, the main human guy from Godzilla 2014.
Oh, is that what his name was? Jesus.
Yeah, Ford Brody.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite a protagonist.
No.
You have a main human character in this, and I like his performance. When people are knocking the performances in this, I don't see it. I genuinely don't. I think everyone who gets some screen time is enjoyable in what they're doing. And I thought there was a scene with Ken Watanabe that genuinely made me cry a little bit.
Okay.
Because he is a very good actor.
Do you think, of course, though, that you are slightly biased because you are
massively biased.
Okay.
Massively biased.
As long as you know that there is that bias there.
Yeah. But this film is very, like I said, this film is the anti-Transformers. Because it's got the door open. It's saying, fans, come in, bring your friends, bring your normal, everyday, general audience friends, but please, your seats are in front.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Please, would you like anything? Would you like a soda? Would you like anything? Would you like a rest? The movie's about to start. It's for you. This is your film.
I was going to try and see it today, but there was literally one screening of it. Not one screening. There was one screen, and it was on only 4 times. There was a screening at 20 to 2, and then there wasn't one until 20 to 5. And the 20 to 2 had subtitles, and I was like, I don't really want to go and see a movie that's in English that's subtitled. It seems a tad redundant. I know people could say it, but you watch subtitles all the time. It's like, that's because it's in a language I don't understand.
Very distracting when you're listening and reading at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be weird. So hopefully, if I get this podcast edited fast enough, the screening should be a bit more free tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be able to see it then. At least that's the plan. Because I'd like to. It's the first movie in, like, I can't remember God, what was the last movie I saw in the cinema? It might have been Infinity War.
Yeah.
And that was a while, not Endgame, Infinity War. So that was a while ago.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I certainly enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Endgame. Like, I think Endgame's probably, like, a better made film, but Endgame has way more problems than people admit, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm 100% sure about that. I haven't seen it. But I have a feeling that you're really strongly right there.
But I hope you like it. I don't know, maybe because one of the things with the panning shots is that they're doing a trick that Final Wars especially does. Okay. Which is there's actually less Godzilla footage in Final Wars than you'll ever think there is. But what they do is by using panning shots and cuts and decent cuts and everything else, they make those fight scenes longer and get the most out of their budget.
Right.
You know? So this is using that same trick.
See, you said you like it more than Final Wars. I'm not sure I'll go that far. I can only assume.
Well, it's not as crazy as Final Wars.
That's the thing. And I also like the fact that Final Wars is. It sounds dumb, but I like the fact it's people in suits.
Yeah,
because it is practical, and there is some that
it is the best suit action I think in any Godzilla film.
Yeah, and there is something very special about that. Not only the costumes, but the sets as well.
Yeah, I think it's really good they got motion actors for this, but it's also they could have done it without it.
Sure, but I honestly don't think you could do a tokusatsu suit Godzilla movie in the West. I don't think people would accept it.
It wouldn't sell. I wish it would sell. On the I'd watch it. You'd watch it. Other people would watch it, but
it wouldn't sell to the masses.
The closest you've come is Shin Godzilla, and that's because they've done the suit because they originally were planning to do a suit actor.
Yeah.
And then they went CG, and then they did the CG in a way that made it pretty suity.
Yeah.
Which means that it also means, unfortunately, that Shin Godzilla is kind of limited in his motions.
Sure.
But that's the one you could make work that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a bit of a trick. Not knocking the film.
It's one of those things.
Yeah. I would love to see a suit because I'm slightly worried Godzilla films are going to stick CGI in Japan. I hope they don't.
Here's a question, and it is just more of a kind of mull this over in your brain. Do you think a Godzilla film could work and could be potentially more visually interesting if it wasn't done with suits? Because we just said that wouldn't be done in the West. Not done with CGI, but do you think it could be done potentially in a really interesting way to do it with stop animation puppetry?
I don't know, because originally Godzilla was going to be a stop motion film, you know.
Oh, you mean the original one?
But at the time, and I'm sure it wouldn't be this now, but for the amount of footage they'd have to use, which they've got about 10 minutes of Godzilla footage in it, and working in production times for everything else. Stop motion wise, you're looking at about the production was estimated to it would have taken 7 years.
Right. See, when I'm making this suggestion, I'm thinking Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah, I was about to say, obviously, if you're giving it to someone like Aardman or something like that,
that would be the idea behind
their style, but you're still looking at 4-year minimum production, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. No, this is like, this won't happen, but it would be a dream thing.
I'll be honest, like, if someone said they're giving Aardman or if they're giving Laika under Travis Knight a Godzilla film, I was just like, what, who's that man running naked through the field, bouncing around? It's just like, I would love that.
Because I'm just remembering the giant skeleton fight that they had in Kubo, and it's like, yeah.
Like, to be honest, like, stop motion films have been done so well in recent years.
They have been, mainly by him. There are other ones, of course.
But then it's like, other people are doing them, but then, like, Travis Knight slowly rolls in his chair, spinning around.
You mean his Rolls Royce and his giant golden rings and his stogie in his mouth? Hey, bitches, what's up?
It's like, listen, if I'm not directing it, someone from my company is directing it.
Exactly.
You know what that means? Good times for all. Travis Knight out. But yeah, I would love that. I still want a really good animated Godzilla film because you nearly did it, guys. You could have done it.
Wasn't that CG as well?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was bad CG as well.
Can some especially have it like I said this time, having that and having Ultraman, and then at the come out right with it so close to each other, and then in between them you've got Gridman.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gridman. Yeah.
Can we have Trigger do this? Because I guarantee you that would be the craziest fucking kaiju fights. Like, forget Godzilla flying. He'd probably teleporting.
Oh, yeah.
Or doing like a capoeira kick or something. But no, King of the Monsters, in my opinion, well worth your time. And I would also say if you have the time, if you feel the urge to stay, there is a credit scene that sets up something that I really hope they do something with. You could put the word mecha in front of it, but that's just me making a guess.
Okay.
Seriously, can we get Mecha Godzilla, please? He's like the only one of the big ones left that they haven't touched on.
Gigan with his chainsaw arms.
Like, we love Gigan.
Yeah. To be fair, I like Gigan with the double chainsaw arms more so than normal Gigan. Yeah.
Like, the thing is, technically, I can see how you could turn stuff from this film into introducing Gigan.
Oh, really? Well, isn't Gigan from space? Is he? Is he from space?
I'm not saying a damn thing.
Okay, I can't.
I will say there are spoilers. Andy, I told you, this movie does not give a shit.
Yeah.
That is all I'm going to say in that regard. You'll know it when you see
it. Hopefully tomorrow. It'll either be then or Thursday, maybe. God. So it was a good week then for you, basically.
It was active, if nothing else.
Yeah.
What did you get up to, my friend?
I went to see my buddy Matt at some point during the week. Oh, that was on Wednesday. We had fun, went to gym together, and he put me through the ringer, and I was like, I want to die, please. And he went, no, you can have pizza now. And I was like, I want to still die, but I'm full with pizza. So that was fun. What else did I get up to? I watched Giant Chicken, of course. I watched Dororo.
I haven't seen Dororo this week.
The problem with Dororo, it feels like we're going episode by episode, kind of running out of steam a little bit. It feels like episodes that should have been done in the first 5 episodes. What's kind of going on at the moment? It's not bad. It's just like, yeah, this is fine to watch. This is okay. I'm not disenjoying it, but I'm not into it.
Yeah.
I watched another Isekai Quartet episode yesterday, I think it was. That was fun, you know. Mikey, you should never be ashamed of anything unless you pad your bra.
Trying to think who in that series would be. I still have to catch up on that. But who?
Shaltia, the little vampire girl.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
She made fun of Albedo because she was a virgin, and Aqua was like, "No, you should. No, she's doing the right thing. She's saving herself for the person she loves. It's very admirable. The only thing you should be ashamed of is if you pad your bra, like this dirty little goddess girl I know who sits on her throne and pads her bra." And then Shaltia is just fuming. What did you say your name was?
The thing is, she can't do anything because it's Aqua.
No, exactly.
So fuck her up.
Yeah. The Cosmo's just standing there saying, "We need to kind of get along. Come on."
We have to like each other, but I'll kill you.
Yeah, it's one of those things again where it still feels like they are trying to push along a plot and there's only one or two jokes in there. It's a very strangely structured show, I find, for what they're trying to do with it. It's still fun enough.
But the fun is kind of centered around very specific individuals.
Yeah,
in a large cast.
Yes, yeah, in a very large cast where you, like, there almost feels like a deliberate thing of we're not going to focus on Tanya the Evil because there's so little to them.
I think that's wise.
Yeah, maybe that'll change as we go through and they'll focus more on it, but maybe they won't. I don't know. Did I do anything else? I've just been going through Game of Thrones again. So I saw Tywin get shot in the pooper. That was fun. Yeah, it's still interesting to go through and see how it does kind of change. And see the good moments and then go, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're at the tipping point, as most people would say it is.
I would agree with that. I'm up to like the Harpies of Marine, whatever they're called. You know, when
what?
When Tyrion meets up with Daenerys, kind of.
Yeah. And the guys in the masks.
Yeah, and you've got the snake harp. What they called, the snake vipers from Dawn, the three ladies
that everyone hates.
Yeah, they're not great. Oh dear. Around that point, but the one good thing about that is I like Dr. Bashir in there. It was nice to see him again. Look at him.
Anytime I see him, I'm just like, you look out of place.
Is that because he's from Star Trek?
Because he's so from Star Trek.
I remember he was in a oh god, what was the movie? It was a movie about people going up a mountain, or they were on a mountain, and they had his team had nitroglycerine with him, and for some reason he exploded.
I don't remember that movie.
Does that sound familiar? Oh bugger! It was in something. Maybe it was some survival movie. Definitely.
Don't know. I remember him from Kingdom of Heaven, but
I've never seen that. I hear the director's cut is actually not bad, but the normal cut was painfully shit.
I like the normal cut. The director's cut is a different film.
Yeah, that's what I heard was the better one. Whether it is or isn't, I couldn't tell you.
That's up to you as an adult to decide.
No adults, only children. I don't think I've done anything else of real oomph of value. Oh no, Mikey!
You spent money, didn't you?
Oh, Mikey.
Yes.
Oh, Mikey. Dr. Bashir was in Reign of Fire.
No.
That's what IMDb says.
No. Oh my god, I have to Google this. He wasn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what it says.
Set this place on fire. I remember
that was a fucking movie.
I'm gonna just put in. I don't remember his real name, so I'm putting.
He was in Clash of Titans. Oh no, Dr. Bashir.
Ah, my god, no. Oh my god, he is. There's a picture of him here. Oh, Alexander Siddig on being Bashir in terrible movies.
Oh, it was Vertical Limit I was thinking of, which was another terrible movie.
Oh, I thought another one was King Ghidorah versus the dragon from Reign of Fire, and I'm just like, just fuck off. You're all just trying
dragons.
You're all just trying to piss me off now.
Yeah,
this is purposeful.
When I said your favorite movie was Reign of Fire, that was definitely a dig. I have spent money this week, but I haven't got anything through the post, so there's no point talking about it until later.
You sounded very regretful.
I was, because like literally a few days later, it appeared on Mandarake again for like 2,000 yen cheaper, and I was like, of course. for a non-opened one as well. It's like, god damn it. never mind. And that's the problem with buying from from websites and then checking back and seeing the same product cheaper. It happens. It's a piece of shit when it happens, but man, it can happen. Do we have any questions answered or asked to us for this week, Mr. Mikey? As I've got nothing else.
We have some responses to our sort of request for feedback regarding Nicey, whatever you want to call her.
The Firebird RC figure.
Yes. I was going to read out a few, but they all kind of fall into the same realm.
Yes, and I got one as well, who I've passed over to you as well.
Yeah, so a lot of these are kind of repeating what other people are saying, so going into it individually isn't great. A basic thing is like either I think it's cool and that's fine if you don't like it, or I'm not into it but it's fine if you do like it.
That's good.
That's kind of the general thing. I think that's fairly mature. There was a bit of discussion about gender, whether the anime thing justifies it. People have a problem with this being sexualized, perhaps more because it's RC than it's a sexualized female. Was something someone pointed out.
So is that the idea that they wouldn't mind it as much if it was just
an anime girl,
right? Would it matter then if it was done with like Chromia or Black Arachnia or someone?
Don't know. Like, to be fair, Black Arachnia is more sexualized than this in some ways.
In some ways,
or at least as sexualized as this in some ways.
In some ways, yeah.
But like several people pointed this out, is that there are things that people who have reacted very poorly to this RC. There are things out there, and this is from at least 2 or 3 different sources now, where say DC Comics or Marvel or something, they do characters with certain designs fairly sexualized. Like Heroes in Crisis got a bit of a backlash because of how sexualized its female characters were. DC
is that in the comic? Is that
the comic? Yeah. Okay. DC Bombshells has a whole line of female characters who are designed to be kind of sexy 1940s ladies. And then there's the Kotobukiya figure statues, which are very sexualized versions of characters and everything else. And a lot of people who are reacting negatively like that do buy comics, do buy those figurines, do buy into that kind of aesthetic without making too much of a fuss about it.
Yeah, I will say, do you remember the sexy Jason figure?
Yes.
I really like that.
I know! It's weird. That's a good design for Jason. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The Freddy one wasn't as cool as the Jason one.
No, I was going to say the Freddy one just is more generic.
Standard. Yeah.
So the general and they did T-Formers, I think it was T-Formers, did a poll that got a 70% approval of this figure.
Oh wow, that's
very surprising.
Higher than I thought it would have been, to be honest, given the backlash originally.
I've seen people asking for pre-orders, so I'll just say, like we said last week, TF Express has it if you want to buy it. But be careful about pre-ordering a figure where you don't know full price. Is my
I'd say personally, wait until a full price for it is out, and then kind of decide from there. Safer,
But in general, kind of keeping up with the trend I saw last week, the consensus male and female is largely either I'm okay with it or I'm not bothered by it.
That's good. I'm happy to hear it.
Some of the podcasts did cover the figure.
Right.
Either they went that direction or they usually went in something a bit more critical, but still I would say in the respectful commentary range.
Okay.
One of which made me laugh my ass off because of one of the host comments.
Okay.
Because it was just a beautiful thing to hear. And I wish I had the clip, but I didn't get permission to use it, and I think that would be rude.
It would, yeah.
One podcast very much surprised me, because I think the person hosting it was having a legitimate negative, like, emotional breakdown over this.
Oh, that's
They sounded
unfortunate.
so upset by this figure, to the point they then got kind of insulting to people, I think. I think they crossed a bit of a... I am very much in this thing, like, joking aside, you don't get to have a go at people for their interests. You can, if you don't agree with something, if you feel it's over-politicized or over-sexualized or anything else, you have to discuss with them as an equal, because once you start demeaning them or attacking them or giving them a name or whatever, you give them, in my opinion, you give them the power. And you also demean yourself by showing that you are not capable of interacting respectfully with another person, even if your opinion is that they're a shitty person.
Yeah.
Because it's as much a reflection on you as it is on them. In my opinion, I'm like this in real life as well. Like, I can sit there with a guy I would like to punch in the face and nod and smile for as long as I can, because I don't have the right to pick that fight.
Sure.
Because that's just my viewpoint, I think as much as possible, you get more of a result from talking to people than at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is odd for anyone who knows me, I'm sure. But yeah, so the general consensus is mild disinterest. That's kind of it. I think this figure will sell, to be completely blunt. I think this will probably sell out.
I don't know how well it'll do. I've no idea, because, people can say they're interested in it, but, getting to the point where they're buying it, that's always a difficult thing to know.
I think the aesthetic is one that crosses the Transformers boundary. That's the thing. Like, people can be browsing an anime shop or a toy shop or whatever and see this thing and say, I'm into anime figures. I suppose the issue with that is because, as far as we know, maybe it's being sold in more places, but as far as we know, it's primarily at the moment just TF Express. Unless you're a Transformers fan, it's unlikely that someone outside of that interest is going to go there. I'm assuming it's going to be on AliExpress at some point, because
that's true.
On AliExpress.
But will it be the official one, or will it be someone knocking it off? That's the question.
Something I found really interesting, just from an academic point of view, was the amount of negative responses are like, listen, if you're into it, it's okay responses that are kind of like, if you're into it because you're horny for this toy, that's okay. Like, what? The broad specs is, like, without using some of the language that's used, some of it was polite, some of it was not, if this toy gets you off sexually,
right,
or if you get kind of turned on by this toy, that's fine, but I'm not into it. Was one of the responses I saw a lot.
Right.
People were negative about this. And I have to admit, as someone who's been watching anime since I've been 14, and who this aesthetic is something I'm very used to, and I kind of like, I think it's got a cool action feature, or not, it's an action figure. I do find it kind of interesting that there's just this broad assumption that this is a I'm turned on thing.
Yeah, like, it's a little insulting and dismissive.
There are people who have come out and said they are turned on by this, men and women.
And that's fine.
I don't really give a flying feck what you're into.
No. It's their own personal choice, really.
Like I said, some people just think this is a neat aesthetic. Like once we got into the wider circle of things, a lot of the comic artists, especially, or the artists, were saying like they think this is a good aesthetic. And they like the aesthetic. Sometimes they apologize for liking it, and that's their prerogative. But I have to admit, like, this isn't particularly sexual in the anime range.
No.
This isn't even... I mean, if you're looking at a 1 to 10 scale, this is maybe a 4.
I guess if we're putting numbers on it, yeah, I guess it would be a 4, probably.
It's not like she's got sexualized figure, and that's about it. But, like, not even... No, like, it's pretty mild, guys.
It's pretty benign, I think.
It's like... This is the kind of thing you'd see in generic action anime number 5, where they don't have any sexualization of the characters, just the designs.
Yeah.
Like, most Bleach things edge into a 5.
Yeah, it's not like an orgasmic face like the fan toys one.
Yeah, no.
From
like,
it's not even promoted like that either.
Yeah, like that is when we get into gross sexualization. That's when we're into the 7s and the 8s, where the advertising was, here she is being forced into cunnilingus. Oh, she likes it. That was the advertising campaign for that toy.
Yeah,
that was kind of gross for what you were going for. I'd love to hear the thinking about that one day.
I have a feeling it was more like, fuck it.
Yeah. Maybe it was the guy who did the Woody stuff.
Maybe, yeah, could be.
But yeah, we also had some comments like they want to hear what we think about Godzilla. One fella, Jordan Van Stant, has been meaning to say this, but a diehard Star Trek fan, Discovery Season 2 ain't half bad. Still haven't seen it. There are rushed elements and poorly written bits, but overall, Captain Pike is an absolute treat, and I genuinely squeed at a couple of moments. I don't think I'm deep enough into Star Trek to have the squee moments, and I really dislike Season 1, so... How much is it like Season 1? Please follow.
I do hear even the people that, for the most part, dislike Discovery Season 2 still say that Pike was good in it for what, for how he's working. Pike is good, but they still didn't like the show as a whole. And because I disliked it as much as I did, Season 1 at least, again, I don't think it's going to enamor me to go into it just because of how... At least sci-fi is done in this day and age. It doesn't have the same appeal as it used to.
Yeah.
But if it gets to Season 3, I'm really tentative on the Picard stuff. From granted, we haven't seen a lot, but even the teaser trailer, how that was filmed for that still felt very what's
that was
it called?
weird. Like,
It
people
felt
were
like the movies, and I was like,
the thing that bothered me, and I thought it's probably the wrong word, people were flipping out over like, oh my god, this looks so good, and I'm just like,
it didn't show much.
it didn't show. It's basically just, hey, here's the actor you know is going to be in this.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? And I'm just like, I don't know.
It was more, for me, it was more the way it was filmed, and it had the same tone, and angles and shots, and the monotone, not the monotone voice, but the monologue over the top felt very movie, Star Trek, in that feel, and that didn't have the feel that I was going for or wanting.
Very, I don't know. It was just, it's not even the tone. I got nothing from it because there's very little there.
That's fair.
And I don't know.
I mean, I think with Picard, it's still very early days because, like you say, we still haven't seen anything for it, and I think there are still some issues with where this is going to go, like onto Netflix or Amazon. I think it's on Amazon Live Video stuff now. I can't remember offhand, but well, who knows? Maybe a full trail of the actual show will turn me around, or it'll like cement me just going no.
Who knows?
Exactly, time will tell. Anything else, Mr. Mikey? Did you say there was a question about Godzilla, or is that something?
No, just like what we thought about the film, and I answered that already.
Oh, so. That's fine.
Yeah, that's about it, really.
Okay,
Andy, what about you? Any responses or feedback or anything?
Yes, we have one from a specific question from Tentamon number 4. Firstly, an important correction: the YouTube channel, the YouTube is called. This is the YouTube channel mentioned from last week. Batbomb_82. Apparently there was a stupid autocorrect thing that messed up something, so that's Batbomb, one word _82. To be safe, here's the link, and they sent us the link for it. Or Tenamon, sent us the link for it. And speaking on boobs, dragons and controversy, any thoughts on the Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition Dragonborn boob controversy, Mikey?
Why is it always me?
Because you, my friend, are the boob guy.
I'm not. I don't think I wear the title of boob guy.
Mikey, when we made our friendship, did I not get a hot iron sear and burn the word boob onto your bottom to claim you as my own?
Yeah, but I just thought you were basically really, really stoned.
No, this was how I marked you as mine for the podcasting world. This is how all subsequent podcasters, like there's the main host, and then there are his podcasting seared friends.
Right. So on that note, we did look into this because I literally had no idea what you were talking about. Because Seth's the D&D guy.
Yes.
I'm like Seth. I would like to play D&D.
I think I would describe you as the light magic, the Gathering guy, and I say light because you'd like to do it, but also don't.
I would play the games with peoples, but I don't know if I'd put the effort in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a life choice for me like it is for some.
It's not a life choice.
So I looked it up, and I have to admit, I didn't realize what was going on until I saw multiple pictures of. Basically, they added breasts to the Dragonborn for some version.
And Dragonborn are dragon humanoids.
Yes. Which I didn't realize until I saw 3 pictures of them together and realized that one was supposed to be a girl because they had softer eyes. Like, there's a very like when you see all 3 of them together, there's kind of like, oh, that's a breastplate vibe, and oh, that's skin on top. I suppose those are supposed to be kind of boob-like things. But, like, if I'd seen that on its own, I would have no idea that was overly feminized or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know enough about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, what female Dragonborn looked like before? Did it look very different? Is there, like, an art of this one where it's just, like, she's supermodel proportion but with a gigantic anime ass? What? I don't know.
I'm sure if you go onto DeviantArt, you'd find that.
I'm sure if I go on to... to be honest, I searched this and I found that without looking.
Oh, well,
that came up, but that was just people drawing that. That just came up. I mean, I don't know if they don't look particularly sexualized to me. What was it? You were saying that someone... Like, that D&D then came out with a thing and said, "Oh, baby dragonborn are breastfed for 3 weeks
Oh,
before
yeah,
their
no,
teeth come in."
yeah, it continues with Tendemon's thing. Whereabouts did it finish off?
Yeah.
Then again, I think that died when Wizards of the Coast put their foot down and officially said, this is apparently what they said, Dragonborn nurse their young for about 3 weeks before they grow teeth.
That upsets me.
What part of that is this your that's not how lizards work kind of thing?
That's not how anything with scales works. No.
It's
It
a
annoys
magical
me.
it's a magical world. Mikey, things are different there. They're also
No.
dragons.
No. But then again, you could, someone, this like, someone once asked me, genuinely, asked me, can you put boobs on anything?
I mean,
Because
technically you can.
This came because I was helping someone clear out a secondhand shop,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing the books. I was doing what I always do at books, or just flicking through and seeing what I'm going to run off with. And then we were just flicking through it, and we came to like, oh, it's a fantasy RPG game, and opened it up, and just like, I can't remember what it was, but it was a furry RPG game, like big book, like high quality thing, really. And it was like, we ended up flicking through, and every single picture was the female version of the character. He said, "Oh, you have a male option, but here's the girl." And things were like, hey, you ever picture the Middle Ages where everyone's wearing weird low cut Swedish tops?
Ah, yes, that famous time. Yes.
Yeah, though there was a lot of low cut tops there. I presume they did not live in a sunny region, or they would have horrible sunburn. And it was like everything: horses, lizards, crocodiles, whatever. And I remember distinctly the person who was a woman. We looked at afterwards, because she was just fascinated by the whole thing. She'd never even come into contact with this, and she said, "Can you put tits on anything?"
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just sort of like, I think you've just answered the question by what you've been reading.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the question you should have asked it is, do you mean functionally, or do you just mean just put them on them?
Do you want me to talk about the logistics of this crocodile having breasts?
Yeah, because you could put them on a chair. They wouldn't work. They wouldn't be functional, but you could put them on a chair.
I don't know. This made me think of that, and I think she still has that book, to be completely honest. I'm not kidding. I think I saw it last time I was round.
Is this PC?
No, different person altogether. This one's married and is pregnant. And that child might be like under the coffee table and say, "Mommy, what this?" That's Mommy's special book.
Mommy's got an RPG.
Mommy gonna play game.
That's right. This leads to the further question of, does that mean that dragons could have mammary glands? I don't see why not, as many of them have bat-like wings, hot blood, and hair. Personally,
hot blood and an external integument does not make you not a reptile. Don't pick this one with me. I will go into the details, but no. Like, if we're talking base biology here, it don't make sense. Does not make sense. The Chewbacca defense is being applied. Why is he on Endor, Andy?
Mikey, this is the world is actually flat for you, isn't it? It's not. They're not mammals. Lies.
Like, maybe they co-evolved them, but they don't do the thing. Like, you had me until you said they fed babies with them. Because that don't make sense.
That did not make sense.
That did not make sense.
Man, that was a good South Park. Oh, old now as well. Old.
Yeah, I haven't seen South Park in a while.
Oof. Lastly, having Aqua beat up Nagash, even more funny when you remember that he was the one that invented necromancy and is the source of all undead troubles in Ye Old Fantasy Battle and in Age of Sigmar
Tribbles
as well.
there.
Hmm?
I heard Tribbles there.
Whereabouts did you hear Tribbles?
Undead Tribbles.
Troubles.
Yeah, I heard you say Tribbles, and I'm just like, that would be a very dark episode of Star Trek.
It could be undead trouble with Tribbles.
No, that was the end of Into Darkness.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, yeah. Oh God.
Did Kirk try to eat someone?
Were Tribbles just a mound of flesh and hair, or did they have bones? How did Tribbles eat? I don't think they had mouths, did they?
I don't know. I always assumed that they were like one of those things that just like, and then they like split open and like fangs everywhere.
Well, like a critter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's on my eyes. I'm having trouble with tribbles.
That would be a fun like horror edition of Star Trek. He kind of mixed that with Dead Space, but with tribbles.
Yep,
that'd be fun. Just imagine the look on Aqua's face if she found out Comedy Gold. Welcome to June! Exclamation. So thank you, Tendermon. There you go. I don't think we have anything else, Mr. Mikey. The only thing I'm waiting for is for a Steam sale, because I had that horrible moment during the week where I was looking at my games library and being like, I've got a load of games which I haven't played, but I just don't want to play any of them.
No,
I just didn't have that urge. But I want to try Tales of Berseria, I think it's called.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting, pretty neat. I'm hoping that'll go on sale at some point. And I also remembered finally what the game was I've been interested in for a while. Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night, from the guy that that produced Castlevania: Symphony of the Night.
Oh yeah. Is that the one that was kickstarted?
Yes, 4 years ago. It's coming out on the 18th of June. Finally,
Jesus. I want to check out at some point. I think it's Plague of Fears.
Oh, I've heard that's actually not bad. Unless you hate rats. If you don't like rats, don't play that game.
Yeah, that's why. Like, that's a unique take on the whole thing.
Yeah, it's very much imagine the Black Plague, but really bad and like loads. It actually reminded the concept behind it. At least the ideas reminded me of. Do you remember Dishonored? How if you killed people, rats would like start taking over the city.
Yeah.
It had that same feel, but it's like, oh, you played Dishonored and you played it bad, and the rats took over the city. It's not a game that I would play, because it's kind of survival-y stuff. But I was like, oh, it looks interesting for what it was going for, at least. But there you go. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to? You
can find me on Twitter as Irish Palo, on YouTube as GeepleV3. You can email us or send us feedback on the moonbase2@gmail.com.
Woo!
We are on Facebook, everywhere else. You can also send us, basically just, if you can send us a message, you can send us feedback. Andy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have found out, I already knew about this, but I had to look, that there is a Ultraman kaiju anime with magical girl transformations, kaiju with boobs.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised.
This is a weird day.
You told me that there was a Godzilla, Godzillas with boobs, and they've been around for a very long time.
Yes, Monster Island Girls, was that it?
Basically,
it was a webcomic that was doing like photo toys, and then like there was just like, and by the way, if you click this link, Godzilla in a t-shirt. Why not?
And are you saying that the artist then became the one known as Jobby the Hong?
The one known as Jobby the Hong.
He is whispered about on the winds of time.
Ooh. Watch the fucking movie. Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter as CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums. We're on Twitter, we're on iTunes, we're on Facebook, we're on Libsyn, we're on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. Get that right. And you can head over to ccbunker.weebly.com for all the nonsense and woo-woo that goes up on there if we happen to do other stuff as well. And you can head over to patreon.com/moonbase2 and do $2 each month, and you get the extended version of From the Files Teltron 2, and you also get the Moonbase woo-woo, which we probably need to figure out what we need to do for a woo-woo for next month. This month, because it's this month now. I don't
know.
Mikey don't know. Right, well, thank you everybody that contacted us again. Very much appreciated.
Yep.
I hope we get some more feedback and whatnot for next week's show. If we don't, that's cool. No worries. And we will see you for next week's episode. Next week, obviously.
I don't want to talk boobs anymore, and I never thought I'd say that.
Mikey will be talking about more boobs when I talk about Godzilla next week, I'm sure.
To be fair, I was considering rewatching Shimonetta, so...
Yay!